The story begins by taking us back to 1944, during the final phase of World War II. At this time, Nazi German forces were desperately looting massive amounts of wealth as the war neared its end. They began stealing tons of gold bars from French banks, and even seized priceless paintings from the famous Louvre Museum, treating them as their own property. All this stolen treasure was loaded into a heavily guarded convoy and transported toward a city called Grajac in Yugoslavia. As soon as the Nazi forces arrived in the city, chaos followed. Soldiers started capturing local civilians and taking control of the entire village. Amid this terrifying situation, we see a brave mother secretly signaling her young son to escape through the back door while the rest of the town is being taken hostage. Soon after, the Nazis stored several tons of stolen gold inside a heavily secured bank located in the city. At the same time, high up on a nearby mountain, a resistance group opposing the Nazi army prepares a massive explosion deep inside the hills. Moments later, a powerful blast shakes the entire area, hinting that something significant has been buried or hidden forever beneath the mountain. The scene then suddenly shifts from the past to the present timeline, leaving viewers wondering what truly happened to that hidden treasure. The story moves forward to 1995, in war-torn Bosnia, where we see the devastated city of Sarajevo struggling to recover from conflict. A press vehicle arrives at an army camp to conduct an interview with the Bosnian general. Two journalists step out, but the Bosnian army treats them with suspicion and begins thoroughly checking their identities. During this inspection, a commander named Petrovic arrives and grants them permission, but with one clear condition: their report must portray the general as a man working for peace in the eyes of the world. As the interview begins, one journalist performs a sound check and confirms everything is working perfectly. At that exact moment, the scene cuts to another location where a team of Navy SEALs secretly infiltrates a building through an underground drainage route. Inside, they quietly plant explosives on the ceiling and wait for the perfect moment. Back at the interview, one journalist suddenly claims the sound system isn't functioning properly. Pretending to fix the microphone, he secretly pulls out a needle and injects the general in the neck, instantly knocking him unconscious. Simultaneously, the cameraman attacks nearby soldiers using a hidden blade concealed inside the camera equipment. At the same time, the Navy SEAL team detonates the explosives, blowing a massive hole through the floor. It is then revealed that the journalists themselves are actually members of the Navy SEAL unit, and their mission is to capture the general alive and transport him to an American base. Following the plan, they secure the unconscious general with an oxygen mask and attempt to escape. However, the moment they step outside, they realize the Bosnian army has already surrounded the area. A brutal face-to-face battle immediately erupts. The SEALs fight fiercely and take down several soldiers, but they soon realize enemy reinforcements far exceed expectations, making their planned escape route impossible. Just then, they spot a tank inside the camp. Thinking quickly, they seize control of it and smash through the main gate while escaping under heavy fire. The 5-member SEAL team consists of leader Matt Barnes, along with Baker, Duffy, Jack, and Ben. As they charge forward inside the stolen tank, Matt contacts command headquarters, informing them that the package, the captured general, is secure, but the extraction plan has completely failed. He urgently requests air support, only to receive a frustrating reply: no backup is available, and they must find their own way out. Meanwhile, Bosnian forces chase them aggressively using tanks and RPG launchers. Jack fires a powerful shot from the tank, destroying pursuing enemies. At one point, an enemy soldier climbs onto their tank with a grenade, but Matt suddenly slams the brakes, causing the soldier to lose balance. The grenade explodes in the attacker's own hand, eliminating him instantly. The chase intensifies as more enemy vehicles join pursuit, but Matt destroys a nearby tower, causing wreckage that blocks the road behind them and crashes the pursuing convoy. Despite the destruction, Commander Petrovic and additional armored units corner them on a bridge. With no escape left, Matt orders Jack to fire directly at the bridge itself. The plan is risky, but logical. As Navy SEALs, water is their safest environment. The bridge collapses, sending the tank crashing into the river below. Underwater, the team escapes with the general, swimming through canals while enemy forces fire relentlessly from above. Miraculously, they survive and reach safety further downstream. However, danger isn't over yet. Enemy soldiers waiting on speedboats attempt to intercept them, but the SEALs launch a surprise counterattack, silently eliminating each opponent before stealing the boats and finally escaping. The team successfully delivers the captured Bosnian general to an American base camp. Their commanding officer, Levin, is shocked to see that they essentially kidnapped a foreign general in such a chaotic manner. Furious yet conflicted, he scolds them the next morning for turning a stealth mission into total battlefield destruction. Although Matt explains they had no other option, the commander gives them temporary punishment: 3 days of leave, while warning that further decisions will follow later. Still, secretly impressed by their success, he hands them a bottle of red wine before dismissing them. That night, the team celebrates their survival with a small party where their attention is drawn to a stunning woman named Lara. Ben immediately tries to flirt with her, only to later discover that she already shares a connection with Baker, setting the stage for new complications ahead. That same night, it is revealed that Lara and Baker had been secretly in love for a long time. However, this peaceful moment is suddenly shattered when Lara's brother arrives at her house along with armed thugs, behaving like a true villain. Furious, he aggressively demands to know where that thing is hidden. Lara firmly denies having it, which only makes him angrier. Just then, Baker arrives and confronts the men, but within seconds he finds himself trapped at gunpoint. Realizing the danger, Lara panics and agrees to reveal the location of what they are searching for. As everyone steps outside, Matt is already waiting nearby. Baker secretly signals him, and together they launch a sudden counterattack, quickly overpowering all the goons. After the fight, Baker jokingly realizes that Matt had been secretly keeping an eye on him all along, knowing from the beginning that he had fallen in love with a local girl. Once the situation calms down, Lara finally reveals the truth behind the mysterious object her brother had been torturing her for. She brings out a massive 12-kilogram shining gold bar. Seeing such an enormous piece of gold leaves Baker completely stunned. Shocked, he asks how she possibly obtained something worth nearly $150,000. To explain everything, Lara takes Baker to a nearby lake. The two dive deep underwater using scuba gear, and what Baker witnesses completely changes everything. Beneath the surface lies an entire sunken city. Houses, buildings, and even a church remain preserved underwater, proving that a thriving town once existed there. Lara then connects the story to the film's opening scene. The little boy who escaped during the Nazi invasion was actually her grandfather. She explains that during the chaos of 1944, her grandfather witnessed Nazi soldiers storing countless gold bars inside the town's bank vault. While escaping, he secretly stole one gold bar but was nearly caught by guards. Managing to flee, he hid the gold before climbing toward the mountains, where he later realized that the entire village population was being massacred. Soon after, resistance fighters captured him, not Nazis, but rebels fighting against them. They had already planted explosives in a massive dam above the village. Their desperate plan was to destroy the dam, flooding the entire area and wiping out the Nazi forces. The young boy was made to activate the explosives himself. Moments later, the dam exploded, unleashing a catastrophic flood that submerged the entire town, along with Nazi soldiers and the hidden treasure, forever beneath the water. For nearly 50 years, the city disappeared from the world map, carrying its dark history with it. Lara explains that her grandfather later entrusted her with the gold bar as proof of the hidden treasure below. This means that underwater, there aren't just one or two bars, but hundreds, possibly thousands of gold bars still resting inside the submerged bank. She asks Baker for help in recovering them, and without hesitation, he agrees. When Baker presents the gold bar to the team, everyone's interest instantly skyrockets. He explains that nearly 2,000 gold bars may still be underwater. If each bar is valued around $150,000, the total treasure equals nearly $300 million. Matt immediately points out the reality. Retrieving such heavy gold from 150 feet underwater, inside enemy territory without official support, sounds almost impossible. At that moment, Lara arrives with a detailed map and proposes a deal. When Matt asks why his team should risk their lives, Lara offers a bold answer: the profit will be shared. She proposes splitting the treasure into only two parts: $150 million for the Navy SEAL team and $150 million for rebuilding and helping her country's suffering citizens. Though surprised, Matt realizes that even half the treasure would change their lives forever. With only 6 months left before retirement, he convinces the hesitant team that this once-in-a-lifetime mission could secure everyone's future. Finally, the entire team agrees, but they all understand this mission will be far more dangerous than anything they have faced before. The challenge is enormous. 2,000 gold bars weigh nearly 27 tons. Ben designs a technical recovery plan. A massive cargo net will be spread underwater, placing all gold bars inside it. 4 giant lifting balloons will then be attached at the corners and filled with gas. As the balloons inflate, the entire net carrying the gold will slowly rise toward the water's surface. Next comes transportation. Jack suggests hiring 2 secretive pilots from their base, who specialize in unofficial operations. With enough payment, they can bring helicopters capable of lifting the gold and even provide aerial combat support if enemies intervene. Since the treasure is locked inside a reinforced vault, the team will require magnesium-burning bars and oxygen equipment capable of cutting metal underwater using intense heat. During nighttime surveillance, Matt discovers that enemy patrol units inspect the lake every 2 hours, meaning each operation window is extremely limited. To avoid fatal decompression sickness, the team decides the entire mission must be completed carefully over 5 days. With massive wealth waiting beneath deadly waters, strict time limits, enemy patrols, and life-threatening technical risks ahead, the team prepares to begin what may become the most dangerous mission of their lives. A mission where one mistake could cost everything. After completing the planning phase, the team begins gathering all the equipment required for this dangerous mission. Since this was an unofficial and completely unauthorized operation, everything had to look legitimate. They carefully created the illusion that all the equipment was meant for a classified military assignment, so that no one would suspect their real intentions. A full truck loaded with diving gear, oxygen tanks, cutting tools, generators, and recovery equipment was secretly transported and hidden inside Lara's house. Meanwhile, when Lara returns home, she is shocked to discover that her gold bar is missing. Instantly, she realizes that only one person could be responsible, her reckless brother. As expected, he had stolen the gold and even cut a small piece from it to fund his drug addiction. When a lender demands cash payment, he arrogantly hands over a chunk of gold instead. Unfortunately, this careless act draws unwanted attention, and news about the gold quickly reaches the Bosnian army. The army captures Lara's brother and brutally interrogates him. To terrify him, they shoot his partner right in front of his eyes. Completely broken by fear, he confesses that the gold came from his sister. At the same time, back at the Navy SEAL base, the team receives devastating news. Their commander informs them that higher authorities have discovered irregularities surrounding their activities. As a result, the entire unit is being reassigned back to America immediately. Hearing this, the team realizes their gold mission is officially over. Matt reluctantly announces that they have only 3 days before leaving the base and orders everyone to pack up. The mood turns heavy as dreams of the mission collapse. Lara is heartbroken, while Duffy and Jack drown their disappointment in excessive wine, eventually starting arguments. Matt and Ben sit quietly, drinking in silence. Until suddenly, Ben notices something unusual. While holding a large whiskey glass containing a smaller inverted glass inside it, an idea sparks in his mind. He explains that if they could create an air-filled chamber underwater, similar to the space formed inside the glass, they could work continuously without surfacing. This would allow them to finish the entire mission in a single night instead of multiple risky dives. Excited by the breakthrough, Ben immediately contacts Baker, who reveals that an underwater church exists inside the submerged city, and within it, there is an airtight bell tower room. If filled with oxygen, that room could serve as their underwater operational base. Without wasting another moment, the team decides to launch the mission that very night. Baker instructs Lara to bring all equipment to the lake, while Jack secretly contacts the hired pilots, ordering them to arrive before sunrise. To transport heavy oxygen cylinders from the base without suspicion, the team fabricates emergency mission authorization documents. Presenting the fake orders to helicopter pilots, they claim it is a classified operation requiring immediate deployment. Fully convinced, the pilots fly them directly to the lake. As soon as the helicopter reaches the location, the 5 Navy SEALs jump into the dark water along with all their gear, officially beginning the gold recovery mission. Diving deep underwater, they first reach the submerged church. Inside the bell tower chamber, Ben begins pumping oxygen, slowly forcing water out until the entire room becomes breathable. Above the surface, Lara constructs a floating wooden platform and lowers it down, allowing the team to place generators, oxygen supplies, and equipment safely. Within a short time, their innovative underwater workstation becomes fully operational, and Matt feels proud seeing the risky idea successfully come to life. Now begins the real task: locating the gold. Matt, Ben, and Jack reach the bank vault, where the treasure was believed to be stored. They drill through the first wall, only to discover a second, reinforced layer behind it. After breaking through again, they finally reach the massive steel vault door. Using magnesium-burning rods, Jack begins cutting through the metal underwater. However, danger quickly arises. Due to decades of decay, cracks form in the chamber ceiling, allowing water to leak inside. Ben explains that the structure hasn't been exposed to oxygen for nearly 50 years, causing rapid oxidation. They now have less than 1 hour before the entire chamber floods. Acting fast, Matt temporarily blocks the leaks using wooden supports while Jack completes cutting the vault open. Once inside, the team eagerly searches for treasure, but finds only old documents and abandoned currency. After intense searching, they manage to recover just 10 gold bars, far less than expected. Disappointed, Ben and Jack begin doubting Laura's story, believing they were misled. Matt, however, defends her, explaining that she never intentionally lied. The recovered gold itself proves the story was real. Perhaps someone else had taken the rest long ago. Deciding to leave with what they have, the team starts heading back toward the exit. But on the way, Matt suddenly notices something strange, a wall that looks far newer than the surrounding structures, with Roman letters engraved on it. Suspicious, he stops the team and insists they investigate. Returning to the chamber, they begin breaking the unusually soft wall. Within moments, it collapses, revealing a hidden tunnel behind it, and suggesting that the real secret of the lost Nazi gold might still be waiting deeper inside. As the team finally enters the hidden tunnel, what they discover inside sends chills down their spines. Scattered across the dark passage lie hundreds of human skulls and skeletons, silently telling the horrifying story of the past. Wooden crates are stacked everywhere, sealed and abandoned for decades. One by one, the Navy SEALs begin opening them. Suddenly, Baker notices something unbelievable. Inside one of the boxes are priceless ancient paintings. These were the very artworks stolen by the Nazi army from France during World War II. This confirms one thing for sure. If the paintings were here, then the missing gold had to be somewhere nearby. Driven by renewed hope, the team intensifies their search. Just a short distance ahead, they discover a massive sealed container. The moment they open it, their eyes widen in disbelief. Neatly stored inside are 2,000 pure 24-karat gold bars. For a few seconds, no one can even speak. Years of history, danger, and sacrifice now stand right in front of them. Overwhelmed with excitement, the team immediately begins transporting the gold. Underwater, they spread a huge cargo net and carefully load every gold bar onto it, preparing to lift the treasure to the surface. But above the lake, Bosnian forces notice old currency notes floating on the water, the same notes Jack had earlier disturbed underwater. Instantly, the colonel realizes that someone must be operating beneath the surface. Without delay, he orders armed soldiers in diving suits to investigate. Below the water, the Navy SEALs continue working at full speed, until enemy divers suddenly attack. Armed with knives, the soldiers attempt to eliminate them silently. However, underwater combat is the Navy SEALs' strongest domain. One by one, they neutralize the attackers with brutal efficiency. When a dead soldier's body floats to the surface, the colonel understands that this is no ordinary group but an elite military force. Determined to stop them, he prepares a deadly strategy: underwater grenade attacks. Unlike explosions on land, grenades underwater create massive pressure waves capable of destroying internal organs instantly. Following this plan, grenades tied to anchors are lowered deep into the lake and detonated. Violent shockwaves ripple through the water. Fortunately, the blasts occur slightly above the team, sparing them from fatal damage. Still, the SEALs realize time has run out. They rush to complete the operation, attaching massive air balloons to the cargo net and filling them with gas to lift the gold. But the attacks continue. This time, grenades explode much closer, shaking the entire underwater structure. Ancient walls begin collapsing, turning the area into a deadly trap. Knowing they cannot fight back underwater, the team focuses entirely on escape. As the balloons begin lifting the treasure, disaster strikes again. The ascent suddenly stops. The gold weighs far more than expected, and the balloons lack enough lift to reach the surface. More oxygen is needed immediately. At that moment, Matt remembers additional gas cylinders left behind inside the collapsing bank vault. Without hesitation, he risks his life and swims back into the danger zone. Just as he retrieves a cylinder, another massive explosion tears through the structure, causing debris to rain down around him. Narrowly escaping death, Matt drags the heavy cylinder back to the balloons and releases the oxygen. The balloons rapidly inflate, and finally, the entire cargo begins rising. Within seconds, the team and the 27 tons of gold break through the water's surface. But danger still awaits. The Bosnian commander stands ready with a rocket launcher, moments away from destroying them. Matt fires his pistol desperately. One shot, two shots, but misses. His magazine runs empty. It seems everything is lost. Then suddenly, a helicopter roars across the sky. Heavy machine gun fire rains down, wiping out the enemy forces. These are the same pilots who earlier confessed everything to the commander. After learning the truth, the chief had secretly sent rescue support. With the battlefield secured, the gold is airlifted back to base camp. Upon arrival, the chief angrily scolds the team for conducting such a reckless, unauthorized mission. However, once he learns the full truth, he decides to keep the entire operation classified. The next morning, an official briefing announces that the Navy SEAL team successfully recovered France's gold lost for over 50 years, returning it to its rightful owners. France honors the team for their bravery, Yet the soldiers feel strangely disappointed, believing they gained nothing from risking their lives. Later, the commander privately calls them into a room and reveals the real twist. He explains that not all the gold was returned. Only 50 million worth was officially documented. The remaining treasure had been secretly sold, and the earnings were set aside. He hands each team member a check. Shock spreads across their faces. Each one shows only a small mission fee. Matt initially believes the commander betrayed them, but then Lara checks her envelope and freezes. Her check contains nearly 150 million. The commander had transferred the team's entire share to Lara so she could rebuild her war-torn country and help its people, exactly as she had dreamed. Understanding the true purpose behind the mission, the team silently smiles and willingly hands over their checks to her. Overwhelmed with gratitude and emotion, Lara realizes that sometimes the greatest victory isn't wealth, but the chance to change lives. And with that, this incredible story comes to an end. A mission filled with danger, sacrifice, hidden treasure, and a powerful lesson about loyalty and humanity. So tell me, honest writingly, how was your experience watching this story? Did the underwater gold mission surprise you? And which moment gave you the biggest goosebumps? Make sure to share your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one of them. If you enjoyed this explanation even a little, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing movie stories and thrilling explanations. Let's set a target. If this video reaches 2,000 likes, I'll bring another blockbuster movie explanation very soon. Until the next exciting story, stay safe, keep watching, and I'll see you in the next video.